Hey everybody, my torch just ran out of fuel and so I need to head back to the truck real quick and top my fuel tank off in my torch. And once I do that, I'm going to hope to get some pretty sunset scenery tonight. But in the meantime, we're going to start paddling on back towards the boat launch. I'm not going to video the whole way because it's about a mile from where we are now. And so I just want to get a little bit of video tonight because it looks very different than it normally does. Now, if you'll notice behind me, there's the big white dogwood. That's kind of where I ended my video out here the other day. We are indeed in that very same cove with the island in it. And if you will look right over here, you can see that is the island. We have to go up this main channel and head up towards the boat launch that way. But you can see it's really overcast. We've got some possible weather moving in if you look over towards the west. And it's hazy, and you can see, for lack of a better word, I'm going to call it steam rising up off the water. The water vapor is just everywhere. It's very, very moist out here today. But it's also glass calm and super quiet and peaceful, if I would ever shut up. And so for once, I thought I would give you all a little bit of looking at us paddling along on glass. So I am going to shut up, and you can enjoy the nice peaceful paddle for the next few minutes. And I'm going to make my way back towards the boat launch. You don't really get a sense of speed when you're out moving in the open water like this. If I record all the way till we go around that point, we'll be paddling along the shoreline a little more, and you'll get much more of a sensation of how briskly we are actually moving across the surface of the water here. We're going probably about 4 miles per hour. And this is just a nice, easy cruising speed. I can keep this up for mile after mile. Now the mouth of the cove that we're in, the cove with the island in it that I always talk about, it's not a super well-defined cove. Even if you look at it on a map, it's kind of hard to tell exactly where you kind of go into the cove and off of the main channel. But this point here in front of us, if there was said to be a beginning of the mouth of the cove, I would think this point here is it. And after this, we'll be out into the main channel. And then we have to head up about another half a mile. And then there's a cove on the right, across the channel. And at the back end of that cove is where the boat launch is. So again, from the island to the boat launch is about a mile. So from where we are here, we have a little less than a mile to go at this point. But at this speed, that's about a 15 to 20 minute paddle. And so as I said, I'm not going to I'm not going to video the whole entire way back to the boat launch, but you get a nice sense of peace and calm as we go over the open water like that. Then as we come up here to the shoreline, you actually get more of a sensation of how fast we're cruising along. So what I typically do coming back from this direction is I hug the shoreline here. In the afternoon, it usually keeps me out of the sun, as we are headed north, so the sun usually is setting through the trees off to our left there. Now, there's a dead branch up here that's in my way, and I want to cut it off. It sticks right out over the edge of the water. You'll see it in a minute as we get up to it. I really want to cut it off. I came out here today. I even brought my saw with me. And when I got here, I noticed that there is a goose sitting on a nest right at the base of the tree. I would literally have to be sawing on the piece of wood within 2 feet of her nest. And she was sitting on it, looking panicked as I approached, and Dad was standing there looking none too happy either. So of course, as soon as I realized there's a nest sitting right there on that point, I decided I can wait a few more weeks and I'll come up and remove that piece of wood at a later date. I don't want to disturb her while she's sitting there on her eggs. There's a lot of goslings out here already, so I'm surprised her eggs have not hatched yet. But the little goslings are just adorable, little fuzzballs running around. There's even a bunch of ducklings out here, so we're definitely in full swing spring. All right, now this tree that looks like we could dip underneath, you'll see we cannot, because there is one dead branch sticking straight out across the water at chest height. And so we got to go out and around, but like I said, there's a nest right there on the corner. And there's Dad now. And there's Mom. All right, so we need to go all the way up here and around this point, and that'll be taking us up towards the boat launch. So let's get away from the geese, head back out towards the middle. And I don't know if you can quite make it out on camera, but if you look straight up the channel, let me open up the camera so I can see what you're seeing. If you look straight up here, you can possibly make out the trestle bridge that is Beckleysville Road that crosses the reservoir, more or less in the center of the reservoir. So I live on the side we just came from, the western shore. So when I go to the boat launch, I have to drive over that bridge, and that brings us to the eastern side where the boat launch is. Of course, the channel itself runs north-south. And now we're crossing over from the western shore. We need to go over here to the eastern shore and start making our way up to the boat launch. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. I guess you guys get the idea by now what it's like to be out here on a misty, moisty evening. It's kind of eerie. It's kind of creepy. It's very calm and relaxing, especially if you enjoy listening to the soothing sounds of my voice while we paddle along. So once again, I'm going to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you real soon on the next one.